Hi guys, today I'm going to teach you something very important if you have any sort of thyroid issue, and that is how to read your own thyroid labs. Now, up until about 5 years ago, you had to go through a doctor to get your labs, which I feel like is absolutely crazy that we are not entitled to know what's in our own blood and body without going through some sort of medical authority, and that has completely changed. You can now walk into any lab test now. You can go online to Ulta Lab Tests, and you can order labs for yourself for a very reasonable price. So today, I'm going to review what kind of labs I draw for thyroid, how to read them, and what everything means. So I'm going to go ahead and put this up on the screen. This is a client that I've been working with for about 6 months that will remain anonymous. So as you can see on a standard thyroid panel that I draw, I am going to pull 4 things. We have T3, T4, thyroid peroxidase antibodies, which I will refer to as TPO, and thyroid stimulating hormone, which I will refer to as TSH. Starting at the top, T3 and T4. This is your thyroid hormone. Now T4 is how the hormone travels through the blood, and then once it gets to the glands, the active form of thyroid hormone is T3. So what does T and what does 3 or 4 stand for? Well, the T in this stands for tyrosine, which is an amino acid that makes up the thyroid hormone. And then the 3 and the 4 stands for the amount of iodine molecules. So T3 is 1 tyrosine with 3 iodine molecules, and T4 is 1 tyrosine with 4 iodine molecules. So this is why we say that tyrosine and iodine are food for the thyroid. So in this particular case, we are going to start with T3. We're going to look first at what is the lab range for this particular lab. Remember, you guys, these are going to change from lab to lab, so you always only use the lab ranges on where you got your blood done. Okay, so T3 should be between 2.3 and 4.2. Hers is at 2.9. A little bit on the low range, still in range. And then when we go to T4, the range is 0.8 to 1.8, and she's at a 1. Also, she's still a little bit low. So some people might look at this and say, oh, you're in range, you're fine. However, a lot of people will come to me, they have symptoms, their doctor's telling them everything is in range, but when you really look at the whole scenario, things are tilting towards out of range. And so that's what we would call subclinical thyroid, or subclinical, it could be whatever, where basically you're showing symptoms, but your labs are not out of range yet. So a really good practitioner or doctor will see that your body is moving towards the direction of out of balance and do something to prevent it from going into the full disease. Okay, so next on the line, we have our TPO. So this should be less than 9. This is basically an indicator that there is an autoimmune condition happening in the thyroid. Now, you guys, I want to point out that Eastern and Western medicine really disagree when it comes to autoimmune disease. So on my side of the fence, the Eastern side of the fence, we believe that there is a pathogen or a toxicity level that is extremely out of range that causes the immune system to attack the tissue and then continue to attack, either because that thing is not removed or because the immune system does become confused. The Western medicine theory on this, however, is that they're not sure why the immune system is attacking the tissue, that something is wrong with the immune system, and they kind of blame it on something being wrong with the immune system and not with the actual organ or tissue that's being attacked. So just FYI, we differ on that. So on this lab, the TPO should be less than 9. You can see on this client in March, she's at 331. This is when she came to me. After April and May, we tested her in June. I got her down by over 200 points. Anyways, the point is she's at 331. She's supposed to be under 9. This is, this means she has an autoimmune reaction happening in her thyroid. This is what Western medicine would call Hashimoto's thyroiditis, which is just inflammation of the thyroid due to antibodies and is considered autoimmune. Okay, so let's go down to thyroid stimulating hormone, TSH. So hers is 5.04. If we go down to the reference range, it should be between 0.4 and 4.5. If you're pregnant, see there's different ranges for pregnancy. Anyways, she's at 5.4, means she's out of range, she's too high. With TSH, it's the opposite of what you would think. If your TSH is high, that is hypothyroid, inactive thyroid. So that means the body keeps making thyroid stimulating hormone because it's like, hello, we need you to make more hormone, and it's not making hormone. So it is hypothyroid, but your TSH is high because the body keeps signaling the thyroid to make more hormone, right? Okay, so she is high. If you were on the other side of this, let's say hypothetically that she was low. Let's say she was at a 0.3. That would signify that we have a hyperthyroid, which means the body already has too much thyroid hormone active, so it's not signaling to make any more TSH. Does that make sense? So in this particular client's case, we suspect Hashimoto's hypothyroid, okay? So looking at this whole situation, you can hopefully understand what each of these things means, each of these biomarkers in your body, where you can go get these labs. And anytime we're doing anything endocrine, if I do it naturally, I only retest every 90 days because I know that what I do is going to take time in the body to work. But if you're very sick, someone might have you retesting every 90 days. It's up to you. This exact lab test on Ulta Lab Tests, which is just Ulta Lab Tests, plural.com. This is a $120 panel. So, definitely really easy to draw for yourself. You would just go to a Quest to get the blood taken, but you're already prepaid, so you don't get screwed on the price later. So hopefully this is really helpful for you guys. And thank you so much for listening. If anyone needs help with their thyroid issues, I work with people all over the country. You can simply set up a consultation through my website, dmdnaturalmedicine.com. If you're not here in Colorado, I do work 100% based off of labs and what's going on labs, so it makes it really easy to work remote. And thank you guys so much for listening, and good luck.